Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here. And back when the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong book was announced, I was pretty pumped up for it. Some of you may have noticed I haven't been loving a lot of books lately, and the idea of the Justice League going against Kong and Godzilla seems like it would and should be a slam dunk fun time book, right? Seriously, what could possibly go wrong here? Now, I'm not saying that the first issue was horrible, but it was a bit of a disappointment for me. I don't know why, but writer Brian Buccellato got the crazy idea that this book needed to be more than, say, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. Sure, we need to set up and get the kaijus fighting the heroes, and we did get that. But we also got Superman telling his friends from work that he was going to pop the question to Lois, which led to dialogue and scenes that might have been nice enough, but don't really have Justice League, Kong, and Godzilla in them. And really, that's what I think most people are here for. So, is this issue better? Do we actually get big monster fights? Well, let's find out right about now.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #2 is written by Brian Buccellato, with art by Christian Duce, colors by Luis Guerrero, and two letters, Richard Starkings and Jimmy Betancourt, who may or may not be the lead guitarist for the band Extreme. Now, I'll spoil it right now. We do get monster fights in this issue. Superman does indeed fight Godzilla, and while social media lost its mind, mostly by a bunch of schmucks who didn't bother reading the issue, I thought it was pretty cool. Sadly, we will have to wait for Kong to show up, but hey, a giant bat monster attacks Gotham, which finally solves that age-old nerd fight by showing that kaiju monsters do indeed care about branding. Now, the issue starts with Superman setting up a little meet and greet with Godzilla. It's an odd scene. I get that Buccellato doesn't want Superman to suddenly go all Will Smith on Godzilla, but Superman trying to talk to him, it was a bit eye-rolling. But hey, it does lead to them fighting, which is awesome. Maybe not as awesome as Godzilla going one-on-one with Charles Barkley back in the day, but really, there's not going to be any topping that. Now, before I continue, I do want to make a bit of a prediction. This is just off the top of my head. This is nothing that I know of. I haven't read ahead. I don't have any behind-the-scenes info, but here's this prediction. I don't think Godzilla is going to die in this miniseries. I mean, here's another one. I don't think Superman will die either. And now that I'm doing this, screw it. I'm just going to get crazier and predict that Kong and the members of the Justice League have a very high chance of surviving this as well. I know, Crazy Jim talking total malarkey as usual, but seriously, if there is even a clear-cut winner in this whole versus battle miniseries, I will be shocked. I mean, completely shocked. That's not how these things usually play out. I'll be not as shocked as the schmucks on social media fighting already, arguing about this issue without actually reading it. If you could tell, it kind of triggered me. A bit. I got in a fight last night with a bunch of people, took away 2 hours of my life. I need to step back sometimes. I need to disengage, but I don't, because that's just me, again, with my malarkey. Now, there's a problem, though, with not ever having clear-cut winners and things like this. Most people reading it, you want to see people winning. You want to see your heroes win. You want to see maybe your monsters win. I'm not going to judge you, but you do want to see that sort of thing. And you're not really going to get that from just the Justice League, Godzilla, and Kong fighting, in my mind. So, in a clever move, Brian Buccellato does give us other monsters. You might like to call them cannon fodder, but they are cool monsters, conveniently making it personal by attacking Central City, Themyscira, and Gotham. So while Superman and Godzilla are fighting, sadly not on the basketball court, but fighting, the League splits up to take care of the other threats, with the focus in this issue being on the Bat family and friends, taking down the giant bat monster, remember branding, and I'd like to call this monster Batra. That may or may not be its name, but then again, I think that Jimmy Betancourt may or may not be the lead guitarist of Extreme, so what do I know? Now, it's a cool fight that even involves some comic booky science detective work, but, you know, why does Buccellato continue a recent trend and do Jason Todd so dirty? seriously, while everyone else is on the same page, working to take down this giant big bat like it caused the shutdown single-handedly, Jason is a total ass who needs to do things his own way. They're begging him not to shoot Big Bat, right? Batra. He just won't listen. He just won't listen, and he does it. Now, why do we have that going on? Probably to extend the scene. You need to eat up some pages. He's like a good middle reliever here with his assholeness. But it also then sets up a one-punch knockout from Barbara Gordon. Really? I mean, really? Somewhere Eric Shea is looking out of a window at the rain, one solitary tear running down his cheek. Now, speaking of idiots, when we do get back to Superman, Shazam has joined the fight. And I guess that Solomon has taken the night off because the captain acts like a total moron. Maybe not an ass like Jason Todd, but a moron, which causes the cliffhanger that all those schmucks are. You know the deal, right? The cliffhanger is just one of those, oh my God, that can't be happening type of things. But when you think about it, it does make sense in how the scene plays out. And also Superman, who is not coming into this fight wanting to kill everything he sees. Superman wouldn't do that. So it makes sense. In this little bit, again, like I said, I don't think we're going to get a clear-cut winner by the end. But these little bit of ups and downs, peaks and valleys deal, this is a good play that you have Superman being taken down for now by Godzilla, but in a way that makes him still the hero that he is. I mean, that's the thing. He ends up having to save Billy Batson because he's a moron. That's basically it. But this issue is so much better than the first one, at least in my opinion. Sure, we're still waiting to see Kong, but it looks like Green Arrow will be meeting up with him very soon. Now, Godzilla versus Superman is probably the biggest draw in this whole mini. And I'm sure they'll slug it out before becoming best friends by the end, because that's what happens in comics. And now I'm going to make another crazy prediction. At the end of all of this, Superman will ask Godzilla to be the best man for the wedding. So somewhere Bruce Wayne's looking out the window at the rain. I mean, it'll be crazy. I'm calling it now. So, put that on the books. Christian Duce's art's really good. Overall, this issue taps into the fun factor I was looking for from the series since the beginning. Didn't quite get it in that first issue. We're starting to get it now. And I'm a greedy bastard, trademark. So I want more, especially Kong. And I say more Kong. Maybe I should just say I want some Kong, right, by this. But I'm sure we're going to get that. And when that happens, that'll be really cool. So overall, I did like this issue. I'm not going to go crazy on it, but I'm going to give Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong #2 an 8 out of 10. And as always, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like listening to dummies like me talk about comic books, then why not check out all of our podcasts? Now, check the description of this video for links to our DC Comics, Marvel, and manga shows. And if you really, really get inspired, you can even help me and everybody else out by going over to our Patreon and signing up there at patreon.com/weirdscience. If you go now, you can get a 7-day free trial to find out all of the things we do. And we do a ton of shows, reading clubs, crazy stuff, Marvel, DC manga, indie, all of that all wrapped up into one. It's like a network, but I like to call it a family. But that's it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thanks for watching. And I'll talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.